The days unfold like parchment scrolls, and in each crease I find your name written not with ink, but with memory. Held by your absence, I walk through sunlit halls that echo with silence rather than laughter. I am a daughter of the crown, yes, but I am also a woman who loves. I wear duty like silk, visible, delicate, yet woven with strength. Still beneath the silk my soul aches for something far gentler, the sound of your breath close to mine. I remember your eyes, how they held questions I could answer, only with glances, with soft smiles reserved for those stolen moments. Now I am surrounded by people but feel you most in solitude. I am not fragile. Absence has not broken me. It has carved me, refined me, made my heart vast enough to carry longing and still lead with grace. I am held, not by presence, but by the way love still lingers like dusk's golden hush over the gardens of memory. This is how I live, poised, regal, and quietly undone. Each morning I rise with the crown not on my head, but in my posture, in the way I greet the day without complaint. They teach us strength in formality, but no one teaches how to mourn what isn't quite lost. You are not gone, you are merely elsewhere, and yet the ache in my chest claims otherwise. My letters remain unsent, folded within my journal seams like petals pressed for seasons that will never bloom again. There are nights I trace constellations above my bed, and wonder if you see the same sky. Distance mocks us with stars, close in appearance, galaxies apart. I do not cry, but I do feel. In royal silence, feeling is rebellion, but I let it breathe within me. I imagine your voice and the way you used to say my name like it was sacred. Here, even surrounded by history and ceremony, I miss the simplicity of your gaze. It was never about rebellion. It was about truth, and my truth is this: I love you in quiet defiance of time. In the gardens I often wonder where the jasmine climbs and the fountains whisper. They cannot replace your laughter, but they comfort in rhythm. My footsteps echo along the stones, and with each step, I imagine us walking there, fingers brushing, hearts speaking what lips must never say aloud. The world watches, but it cannot see the world I carry within. There you and I are not divided by obligation. There I am not Spain's daughter, but yours. My voice, trained in diplomacy and dignity, aches to whisper your name into the breeze, just to hear it echo back with hope. They would say I am too young to know love like this, but they forget that hearts do not check calendars. My love is patient, but it is not still. It stirs like sea tides under moonlight, always drawn to you, even in your absence. I do not wait as a child waits. I endure as a sovereign endures war with silence, strategy, and an unshaken belief in what is worth surviving for. Evenings fall gently here, like prayer shawls over the shoulders of the palace. And in those velvet hours, your memory becomes less a shadow and more a companion. I have learned to sit with my longing as one sits with wisdom, quietly, respectfully. I do not chase it away, for it is the only piece of you I am permitted to keep. I see your face in mirrors not because it appears, but because I seek it just beyond the surface of what is reflected. This absence, though hollowing, is not barren. It blooms in ways no one sees. It has taught me that love does not only thrive in presence, sometimes it becomes most beautiful in restraint. When I speak in ceremonies, with measured words and royal cadence, you are there in the pauses between each sentence. You are the breath I do not take. They call me composed, but they do not see that I carry you like a secret under my ribcage. My silence is not emptiness, it is love, cloaked in formality, breathing beneath brocade. The calendar changes, the world spins, but your absence remains steady, my one unwelcome certainty. Some days I wonder if you think of me, or if memory has turned traitor, letting me fade behind your new dawns. But I do not ask. Asking would mean expecting, and royalty has taught me to withhold expectation like one withholds tears in public. I see diplomats and dignitaries bow, but in my heart I kneel only before the love that once felt like home, and still I walk forward. I do not falter, because even in loss, I am loyal to you, to the love we once breathed, to the hope that this absence is not the end of our story. I wear my sorrow the way I wear silk gloves, elegant, opaque, concealing the pulse that trembles beneath. If love is forbidden, then absence is its price. I have paid it daily, but I would pay again, and again, for even the memory of you is more alive in me than the applause of any crowd. They think royalty grants immunity from yearning, but love does not honor borders. It trespasses silently, lives in the hush of ceremony, blooms even under scrutiny. I remember you in fragments, your laugh when it cracked through your reserve, your hand brushing mine with deliberate accident, the way your silence always said more than words dared. I remember it all, and I do not try to forget. To forget would be to erase who I became in your presence. I owe myself more than that. I owe the love we shared, the dignity of remembrance. And so in the quiet hours before dawn, when even the guards rest, I speak to you in thought. I tell you what I cannot write, what I dare not share, that you are still the compass, the song, the ember, that my heart beats in fluent remembrance, that I would trade 1,000 crowns for a single unguarded moment in your arms. But I do not say this aloud. Royalty has no room for recklessness, only for resolve, and I resolve to love you still. When I stand before my people, adorned in tradition, framed in history, I wonder if they see the woman behind the sovereign. Do they hear my heartbeat beneath the anthems? I carry you then more than ever. Your absence steals me. It teaches me the difference between endurance and survival. I do not merely endure, I thrive, despite the ache. You made me see the world not as duty, but as possibility. And now every act of service becomes a silent tribute. Every speech I give, every ribbon I cut, I offer as a prayer whispered in your name. Some would call it foolish, holding fast to love in the absence of promise. But they do not understand. Love like ours was never born of promises. It was born of presence. Simple, sacred, stolen, and now absence only magnifies its truth. I lead with a poised hand and a weathered heart, knowing that if we are never again what we once were, I am still what you helped me become, a queen in waiting, held not by a throne but by love. I have walked through galleries, and stood before portraits of women like me, born to crowns, bound by oath. I wonder how many of them also loved in silence, bore their longing like medals beneath their gowns. History may forget our hearts, but I remember, I will always remember. My love for you is not diminished by the years or the distance. It is refined, purified by absence, and though we may never again touch, you remain a part of me, woven into the tapestry of my becoming. I speak to you now, through this quiet offering, not as a princess, not as a figure of ceremony, but as a girl who once looked at you and saw not escape, but a reason to stay grounded in hope. If this is to be our fate, to love and be apart, then let it be a testament. Let it speak of love's endurance, of the quiet strength that blooms when the world demands silence. I am held by your absence, yes, but I am also lifted by your memory, and in that, I rise.